Hi, and welcome to lesson 7, which is about new product design. So by now you will have had a look in lesson 6 about your existing product and what you're going to do with that. You may decide strategically using your Ansoff matrix to design a new product. It should be great. So in lesson 6, what we did last week was we covered your existing product and looked at its attributes, its unique selling points, and then decided whether you were going to keep that product, make a new product based on the existing product, or a completely new one. So the strategies for developing the market using existing and or new products were looked at yesterday, as was the reflective journal. We also looked at the CBI skills that you would have developed in lesson 6, which was the positive attitude, self-management, team working, business and customer awareness, problem solving, application of numeracy, and application of IT. So let's move on to new product design now. In the previous lesson, you would have completed the product case study and decided whether or not you want to keep the existing product as it is or create a new design. In this lesson, you'll be learning how to create a new product for the business and review the impact this has on the research and development department especially, but more widely across the entire company. You'll also have the option of rewinding your decisions if you don't like the outcomes of those and try a different decision. So remember that you can rewind a quarter, 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, or rewind to the beginning of where we started in the growth of activity, which is year 3, quarter 4. So let's have a look where we are in the learning circle. We've concluded our market research, done our company setup, looked at our existing product, and here we're looking at a new product. So in order to get the best out of running your virtual business, we've given you a structure to work through called the process to market. You can, of course, feel free to ignore me at any point and carry on doing what you're doing. This is the process model you should follow to get the business moving along. For those of you who don't like to work in a structured way, please feel free to run the virtual business as you'd like, but this process works and could be a great starting point for you. So the basic process to get to market is to start with research, and in particular, the market research we've looked at in previous lessons. So we can go back to those if you need to. So today we're going to look at the product your company is selling, perhaps looking at a new product as well. So the basic process to get to market, what you need to do is gather and analyze all the market research reports. If there are no research reports or no up-to-date research reports, you'll need to order them in the simulation. So specifically, you need to be looking at competition reports, customer reports, focus group reports, segmentation, and the market overview. So why should you do this? Well, it's great to inform your next decisions in terms of your product design, your promotions, your sales channels, your prices, and all those good, lovely marketing things. So the scenario briefing and research reports provide you with market intelligence to inform your decisions. So when designing a product or evaluating an existing product, you need to take into consideration all the research reports. However, a simple approach might be to start with a copycat product which replicates what the competitors might be selling profitably at the moment. Or you might want to create or recreate a product design, but remember it has 3 stages and takes quite a lot of time. At this point, you may want to think about getting some income coming into the business through the selling of shares or the raising of capital. And so you will have lots of money to spend on new product design and putting it into production. The design process you need to understand has 3 stages. The first one is a concept or blueprint, which has no time or cost allocated to it, which generates a new design. Then there's a technical specification. This does require hours to be assigned to the design process using the change strategy button. As quarters are run, the designated hours are assigned to completing the design process. And lastly, the third bit is a completed design containing the detail required in order for you to put it into the production process. So at that point, you need to sell your, you need to put your selling points in line with your product design. You need to choose a primary segment and select a secondary segment if you want to. Then you need to set your product design ready for production. So therefore you need to price it. You need to set the selling price and allocate some discounts if you wish to. Then you need to set the promotions to generate awareness about your company and its products. Otherwise, if you go into production, you won't sell any of them because you haven't done any marketing. And then you also have to set your sales channel strategy. So pushing your product out through the channels, whether they be direct sales or through small retailers or large retailers or whichever sales outlet you choose to do. Then you need to gather more research to keep your market intelligence up to date. So keep getting focus group research, which will give you detailed feedback on your product. Get some customer feedback. Get some competition feedback. Get some demographic reports going and break down those segments so you know exactly who you're selling to. From this point on, you should be gaining traction in the market. And the challenge now is to manage the cash flow to expand your sales to begin to turn a regular profit. And that's what I was mentioning right at the beginning of this particular lesson, to get some, I don't know, some funds coming in from the bank or from crowdfunding or something like that. So if you decide to go ahead and create a new product design, remember that it has 3 stages. First one is the conceptual blueprint, which has no time or cost needed. Then it has a technical specification, which does require hours to be assigned to the design process using the change strategy button in the simulation. As quarters are run, the designated hours are assigned to completing the design process. Now, what you need to decide early on is, do you want to allocate a lot of hours to this so that the design process goes through a lot quicker with the technical specifications? Or is this something that you can leave over several quarters and just allocate some time? But you'll have to go in and change that in the resources section. So then you need to decide whether you're going to hire contractors if it's less than 500 hours-ish, or whether you need a full-time employee to do that for you. Third stage, remember, is the completed design containing the detail required to manufacture or produce the bikes. So what you can do now is go into the server with your username and password, read the notes under these slides and complete this practical exercise. So you need to go to sales and marketing, market research, competition report, perhaps choose a competitor product to copycat, then navigate to R&D, research and development, and go through those 3 stages of the design process. Think about your sales and marketing, your pricing, your focus group. What changes do you have to make, if any? Put the product into production. Are you making sales? And then reflect on how well that went. Remembering that the time, cost, and resources are key things that you need to be thinking about at that point. So if you run several quarters, what happened? Did you start selling bikes? Do you remember also that if you're going to go into product design, there's quite a lot to think about before you actually get there. So please start by reading all the guidance documents that are in this tab here on the top right-hand side of the image. These include a tab on information, advice, key considerations, and impacts. It's really important to read this because the guidance will tell you exactly how to create a new design, review your designs in progress, and you can also see when your designs are complete. And before diving into do NPD, new product development, it's always wise to go through these guidance documents before you actually get started. Okay, so as we outlined in a previous lesson, along with the skills outlined by the QAA at the beginning of this programme, studies, we're also going to explore the CBI definition of employability skills, because remember, these are the skills that are specifically needed by employers, along with the skills identified in the QAA document. So this lesson will help you to become more aware of what employability skills are and how you can develop it. So each week we're now keeping a journal so that we can measure our development of our employability skills before we started, right back at week 1, and when we finish. For some of you, that may be up to week 14, or it might be a shorter module. I don't know, that's up to your tutor. So part of your assessment, certainly for my modules, is a reflection on the development of those employability skills that you can see on the slide here. So each week you'll be completing a journal to actually tell me where you have developed those particular skills. And whilst you might think you have all of these skills, I would like you to show some evidence within the simulation about how you discovered it. These are really good points, because when it interviews for jobs and things like that, it's quite easy to storytell about the skills that you do have by telling people about the experiences that you have had. So moving on, don't forget, I know I keep banging on about it every week, keep a lesson journal after every session. What decisions did you make today? What did you do? What did you try out? What employability skills did you develop today? Keep that journal safe, preferably in electronic format. And remember that at the end of my sessions, the summative assessment includes a reflection on the employability skill that you've developed the most. And I am expecting to see your journal in the appendix of your report. So in this lesson, just to summarize, we've looked at new product development and the potential for copycatting a competitor product, and your reflective journal. The skills you may have looked at today and developed would be a positive attitude, self-management, team working, business and customer awareness, problem solving, application of numeracy, and application of IT. So that's all for now. Have fun in the simulation, and I'll catch you on the next lesson.